FuboTV filing an antitrust lawsuit against Disney, Warner Brothers, Discovery, and Fox, the sports streaming platform, alleging the joint venture between the media companies is anti-competitive. David Gandler, co-founder and CEO of Fubo, spoke to our morning team earlier, criticizing the new alliance.
To me, this is almost borderline racketeering, because what's happening in the industry is that, the media companies are saying, look, if you want the full bundle, go get a pay TV subscription. And at the same time, they're taking certain pieces of content out of the bundle to force a consumer to get that one extra game or two extra games to pay for another service. So they're basically double paying in more than, I would say, 30 to 50% of cases for the same content.
With media giants clamoring to make streaming agreement deals with one another, this is just a new type of cable. To break this down for us, let's bring in Yahoo Finance's very own Canal. Ali, remember the argument when streaming started that this would be a cheaper alternative? It feels like we're going back in time now.
Oh yes, Akiko, it seems like everything old is new again, but we are entering what seems to be this new era of the streaming bundle. And just to put this all in perspective, bundling is nothing new. We've seen bundling before. Companies have been doing this with their own content, their own services, but the move towards partnerships among competing companies is clearly a shift in strategy. We have the WBD, Fox, ESPN, joint venture. We have reports that Paramount Plus and Peacock could potentially team up for their own streaming partnership. And this is all coming as these companies face more pressure from investors to scale their streaming services and reach profitability. At the same time, we also have increased competition from tech giants like Amazon and Apple, which have just gobbled up a fair amount of streaming deals out there, largely due to the fact that they have the cash to do so. So in some ways, these legacy players are joining forces to really protect themselves against big tech, because that's really the only way they can compete. Now, as we've seen with the FuboTV lawsuit, I do think there is going to create this is going to create a lot of noise. The Justice Department is reportedly looking into the WBD, ESPN, Fox venture to really determine whether or not it violates any antitrust practices. And on top of those concerns, there's also the question of whether or not these competitors sharing content, how they can do that without giving away all the goods, right? Disney is one example of this. They are also planning to take ESPN fully over the top in fall 2025. And that's on top of the JV partnership with WBD and Fox. So are consumers going to pay for both? Pricing is another concern. How much is this going to ultimately cost the consumer? Will people pay for an a la carte service if they can just opt into a bundle? So overall, a lot of question marks here as this continues to evolve, but it's definitely a big turning point when we think about the future of streaming and really the industry at large.
Indeed. Fascinating stuff there. Thank you for getting us up to speed. Our very own Canal.